Hello! Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Letters for Lucardo, the Silent Lord. We're going to be hanging out with the wonderful creator cartoonist Otava Heikkilä. I'm sorry, I probably butchered your name, didn't I?
That's okay. Heikkilä.
Heikkilä. That's so fun. I love it. Anyway, we're hanging out, got some cool art, and just chatting about things. Y'all want to
Hello.
hop in and give us any questions?
Hello!
Go right ahead.
Hello,
Otherwise, we're just
everyone.
going to keep
Welcome
talking
to
to
the
ourselves.
Letters
Oops,
for
give me a
Lucardo, the
second.
Silent Lord.
Echo.
Glad I fixed it. There was an echo. Continue. I was like,
Oh no!
why do I hear two Andreas? Uh,
Wow,
okay, but
I'm
keep
just
going.
amazing. You have to have me twice. Uh, Very cool. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
there's
you,
a
Amanda,
RAR.
our
There's a
resident
RAR in the
technologist.
chat.
Thank goodness.
A RAR X3 in the chat.
Love that.
I'm excited for the younger kids to find the Leet Speak again. When is that coming back?
Oh, they have their own.
Do they?
They have their own. LeetSpeak wasn't very efficient. The younger generation's more about like more efficient communication. LeetSpeak was more terrible code.
Well, I just all the fashion is starting to come back. I've seen the terrible haircuts
If
and
LeetSpeak comes back, I will find a bridge.
I want clear electronics and inflatable furniture. I can't that go back to the 90s.
Ugh. Why
Here,
do we
I'm going
Yeah.
to change the resolution of this into a higher one.
But yeah, Otava is drawing for us, as you can see.
Really, yeah.
Tiny person
Very
in
Cool.
hand.
exciting.
One is a
Nothing.
clone. You have to destroy the false Andrea. Yep.
True.
No. The false Andrea. That's why it's
Goodness,
false.
goodness.
Yeah, that's better. How do the kids speak these
So,
days?
so let's
Unrelated to my comic.
you're fine. Well, actually, let's related to your comic. I was going to pick your brain on it. Because we were just
Okay.
talking about how long form web comics were really coming to uh popularity when you were starting out, and then it's like finding you for letters and bringing you out here. Like, tell me. I only came in as your editor on the third volume, so
Oh, yeah, true, true. Yeah,
how
oh
did it
gosh.
all start?
Yeah, like we were speaking, like, I don't know. I started, I was on DeviantArt, like, in 2008, 2009. And like I saw comics like Dashing Helmer's The Meek and Gunnar Court and other classics and wanted to do narrative comics like that. And I had like the webcomic Jureka. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
that
yeah,
means
yeah, yeah.
anything.
Yes, I remember
Yeah, you
reading
recognize,
that. I
yeah.
read
Oh,
that.
you ready? Oh god.
Yes, I read
Okay.
that. It was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel very nostalgic about it now, but yeah, it was a rough start, I guess. Um,
It was not a rough start. It was a very good start.
Everybody has to have a first project.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a lot of fun to make it, and I think that was like 2010, 2015 was like a really fun time to be making webcomics, I think, because like there was a lot of I don't know, a lot of like really cool projects on their own websites. Everybody had a WordPress and a dream.
Yeah.
Wow, my Photoshop is a little laggy right now, but hopefully it'll be
Oh,
fine.
nice.
Yeah, what was the
So,
question?
well, I'm just trying to pick your brain about like, so did Spike reach out to you or did you submit to Iron Circus? Like
Oh
how
no,
how
like
did
yeah, like in like 2016, like Spike opened the open submissions for
Mhm.
Iron Circus, and like right at that time, I was my brain was like completely consumed with like thinking about this project, and I was drawing like these little scenes and these little like the early scenes into like
Mhm.
basically on my free time with like really no plan for them, just like for my own joy and feeling like I really want to do something with this. And like in that like same moment, I saw that the submissions were open. I think I had actually been in like Smut Battler, the Monster Boyfriend at that point.
Oh,
So
had
it's
that come
like
out before letters? I didn't realize that.
I think so, yeah. So
I
it's
loved
like,
your story in that, by the way.
oh, thank you. Like that was a really fun story to make. It was kind of like, um, it kind of like informed my vision a lot going forward because it was like, oh, I really like doing like this, like kind of weird and I mean, I guess Judecca was that as well, but like it really like kind of like opened some
Also,
pathways in
Well,
my
I
brain.
look at your
sorry.
I look at
Apologies
your
to the
monster
audience for the
boyfriend.
weird cropping going on. There's a lot of like, I'm trying to reduce the flashing of the black bars, then white, then black, then white. So if you notice the capture of the drawing changing, I'm trying to reduce the flashing. So
Much
continue, y'all.
appreciated.
No,
Nico
of course.
mentioned it in the chat. Winged Man fell into the shed. I was trying to think of the name. I
Oh yeah,
love that
yeah,
title.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I that name was. I think I think I was like really inspired by a short story by. Oh no, I don't know how to say this name. Gael Garcia Martinez. Is that the name of the author?
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry, I don't
as
know how
close
to
as I
say.
get it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think he had like a short story that was kind of like really inspiring me with like an angel character that was really like unusual and like kind of I don't know expanded on that a little bit and
Yeah,
like yeah that was a fun story to make and like I think like I don't know I was like feeling very positive about that experience and like I was really looking for like a reason like an excuse to work on this story and I saw the submissions open and I decided to submit and like I think I was the first story that got accepted through the open submissions, which was like completely wild for me. Like I was like 20,
that's
26 back
crazy.
then. I was like a little child, and like it was really exciting for me. And like I don't know, it was very very cool.
I mean, that's a star-making moment right there.
Yeah, yeah. It like yeah, it was a very very good experience.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
And now here we are. What did we figure out? It was
yeah.
2014?
2020. What starting the story or?
Yeah, I was just trying to think. We've been letters has been going on for how many years now?
Oh, I think I worked on most of the first book in like 2016 and it came out in 2017, I think. So, yeah. What is that? 5 years? 6 years? 5 years.
Jeez. And it's
Yeah.
still not even done. You have a whole nother volume after this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you
I
do
mean,
this to yourself?
I mean that's comics. Like,
It's true.
yeah. But I don't know,
I'm
it's
very
also like
excited.
nice to like grow up with the project. Like you change so much during like starting something that takes 10 years and by the end that you're finished with it, I like you're gonna be like a totally different person, and I think that's cool.
God, I know
Is
Yeah.
Amanda
that.
laughing? Yeah. Do you want to share your feelings on this
Oh,
topic?
just oh gosh. Well, like my like Love Me Nice we were talking earlier was my first comic ever. And
Yeah.
I started writing it in high school and my sensibilities were very different.
Oh wow.
I was very much on that like I didn't know what sex positivity was. I just knew I liked stories about sex and I was very like mad that like none were doing it the way I wanted to. So Love Me Nice was like an extremely horny story when it started. And shortly after I started, I got work at Slipshine. Like I think God, very shortly after Love Me Nice started. And suddenly like I had a different outlet for like the horniness. And then Love Me Nice shifted and got like a lot sadder. So
I feel
like
you there.
I was changing a lot as like I was writing it, and then like I got other jobs, and like every time I'd come back to Love Me Nice I was like, because I would take a lot of hiatuses because I got a job working on this for this publisher, and then I'd have to take a break, and then I'd come back and I'd suddenly level up as an artist. Well, then I'd get this job and I'd come back and I'd level up as a writer, and like Love Me Nice would just jump in quality every time I came back to it. But also like who I was as a person like was drastically you know, it was like I was like between 20 and 26 when I was really making it. And those are like really turbulent years where you change a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So like it kind of now it's at this weird point where like I think I finally got it as of the last time I was updating it. I got it to the point where it was sort of more cohesive. Like I married the earlier weirdness with the later, you know, oh wait, no, I want the story to be different. And I got to a point where when I do return to it, and I will, I've got a rewrite going so that it'll be it won't be so weird that like it started out so horny and then like I dropped that. It's like no, the horniness will come back. It'll just come back and it'll make more sense this time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that works wonderfully when like the theme is like relationships and like I don't know, like slice of life or drama, because like people's life stages change and like it can like really affect things like I don't know, a person's sexuality or like sexual activity and like whole approach to it. And I think that really works in like something like Lovely Nice, and hopefully in letters. Oh, my cat is trying to drink my. Oh, hold on a second.
Get the cat. Get
Go
the
on,
cat.
Sesame.
I had to lock Ichabod out of the room, or else he'd be yelling at me constantly.
I would do that, but I do not have a room to lock Sesame into, so he's just freeballing through.
An angel. I love him.
Yeah, he's a rascal.
It's interesting you guys are talking about the 25, like the change that you go through, because I definitely, I didn't even come out as bi until I was 30, and
Yeah.
you know, 25 to 30, I was figuring out my life hard. I mean, to be fair, I don't really see it in Love Me Nice too much, Amanda, because I never read it while it was ongoing. I only read it once you put it on hiatus all at once.
I think
I
a
think you
lot of
did
it's
well.
because there's a lot of like y'all like for example like there's been a lot of course correction like y'all didn't see because at every single phase of, and I don't mean to like distract from this is a Letters for Lucardo stream, but
Just there.
but what y'all don't see is every phase of Love Me Nice it was fully written. So like when when the changes happened, they changes to the remaining pages that hadn't been drawn yet. So there's a lot of course corrections. So in my head, like I can see a point in the story where it suddenly swerves, and it's less obvious because I worked really really hard to make it less like the Carolina bits with her boob job was a much meaner story when I first wrote it. It was a really mean story, and I got way more sympathetic to the character and like what the hell would make someone go through these kind of phases. So like it was a much meaner story, and there's hints of that very very early on, but like I think 5 pages in I was like I want this to be nicer. I think I'm
It's in
being
the title. Come on.
I know I'm being really mean
Yeah.
to this character, and I actually don't want because you go through that edgy I don't like certain girls phase, but then like I got older I'm like I'm being real mean to that kind of girl. That's mean. She's going through some shit. So I kind of like swerved because I kind of caught myself.
You
Yeah,
know,
I feel that.
Otava, I'm curious because reading letters, do you hate your characters? Because wow. Like,
No,
here's
I
Kill
just
Your
heard the
Darlings, and
things I
here's what
love.
you do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. No, I don't hate my characters. I love them, but like, I don't know. It's just like it's so much fun to write pain.
Yeah, yes,
So,
yes.
so it's
Can
like,
confirm.
yeah. So what can you do about it?
Mm,
But I don't know. It's
fantastic.
also like, I think like when you're writing like horrible crap happening to characters, you have to like really also keeping in mind that like there is like a point where it like no longer feels good for the reader, and like I think it's like a balance between,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, that's got to be a tricky balance to hit. I definitely think
Yeah.
the at the end of volume 2, where Lucardo leaves Ed with the Silent Lord, um, I cried for
Oh
sure.
yes.
My
Mm.
eyes were wet.
That's so
That
sweet.
was a beautifully done scene. I just love the way you handle emotion.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you. I mean, I think I'm kind of like I'm kind of like 2 months about the ending of second book. Like I do like it, but I think when it's next to book one, I do feel now that I wouldn't probably write such kind of like similar feeling, like
Oh yeah.
suddenly sad cliffhangers in a row. Like I think that's
Yeah.
it it starts to be a little bit like just a tiny bit repetitive, but also like it's fine. Like this is my first like long form story. So well, second, but like first that I'm doing as an adult, so it's fine. Like we grow and we get better as we do stuff, and uh, you know, hindsight 2020.
I do. One of the reasons I miss conventions is like I'm not saying I have favorites when it comes to selling, but there are some books that like
They sell themselves.
not that they sell themselves, but like the sale it has so many cornerstones and like moving parts that are easy to identify.
Yeah.
Like with some it's like, well, this one's about like for example, Timorous Beastie is very hard to sell. Like the people who like it, but it's a very hard anthology to sell because like, well, it's like Secret of Nim, but it's also like Plague Dogs, but it's not like those. You know, you have to do a lot of setup.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say, well, it's about little animals going on adventure. And what I like about Letters for Lucardo is it has a very simple pitch that will catch a lot of different people's attention. Like they might gravitate like, oh, vampires, oh, period piece,
Hmm.
oh, romance, you know. But my favorite thing about selling it is what usually got people to grab it was like, ooh, a gay romance, or ooh, it's horny, ooh, and they'll flip through the pages, see the saucy pages, and they go, ooh, and then they'll leave,
Hmm.
and then like a few hours later they'll come back and they're like, is there more? That's the
Oh, I
saddest
love
thing
that.
I've ever read. Don't get me
We get a
wrong.
lot of requests when we were doing
Yes.
shows. It was, when is volume 3 coming out? He's working on it,
Hear
right?
that?
Yeah, there was a
That's so
lot of
fun.
like, don't get me wrong, it was very horny. But I'm so upset right now. Where's the rest? And that was one of
Uh-huh.
my favorite selling experiences, just being like, they came for one thing and then they left with something else.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. That is so
Oh
delightful.
my
That makes
gosh, oh
my
man.
evil heart is like really fulfilled by this.
Oh, me and Andrea had
Mm.
like a lot of fun selling it because oh
Oh
no,
yeah.
yeah, me and you and me and Spike, we would do these like awful voices pitching it to people. Like, you want to see a vampire? No, you want to see a Dracula fucking old man. We would do that a lot at shows.
Mm.
I love that.
And people would just be like, my favorite experience was going, you want to get this book? It has a Dracula fucking an old man. And someone picked it up and goes, ha ha ha. And they flip through it and then they go, oh, that is what this is. They were like, ha
Oh, I
ha
love
ha.
that.
Very funny. And then you'd see their eyes get wide, like, oh, you were correct. Okay, well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's my favorite thing is you pitch something and someone like doesn't think it's not going to be exactly like that. You can't possibly be making. Oh, you are making exactly that, and it's very good. Thank you.
Love that.
That's the
That is
Iron
so
Circus way.
Yeah, like, oh, you're exaggerating. No, it's what you said it was. Never mind. Like
That's
Sex
what it says
Machine
on
is
the
like, oh, it's
box.
about people having sex with robots. I'm like, oh, okay. Then they're like, oh, you mean
Oh, it is.
robots? Oh, okay. And it's
Ooh.
like, no, yes, I was serious. I do not lie about these things.
I love that.
It is what it said on the
Cat
tin.
is.
Like, we
They
don't.
did get more than they bargained
You
for.
can say a lot, but we don't bait people in with fake premises. Like, no, 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 no. That weird premise, that is the premise.
Yeah.
Enjoy. You didn't know you wanted this, but now you do.
Speaking of it does what it says on the box. We were talking about My Monster Boyfriend earlier, but we do have an exclusive little whisper sneak peek of My Monster Girlfriend, Otava. You're in it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm in it.
How
Uh,
exciting.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was a huge amount of fun to work on that story. I really enjoyed it, and like having seen what others are working on it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going out so good.
I'm very happy
Amanda, do
about
you have a
that.
Yeah.
story in it?
I didn't have time. I got like
Yeah.
a publishing colorist job about the same time I would have
Mm.
done that.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
alas, no, I didn't have time. But usually,
yeah. Oh.
here's a little spoiler. Aside from maybe like the first Smut Peddler, here's a behind the scenes thing. If you see me in a Smut Peddler, it usually means an artist dropped out.
Oh,
Oh,
don't
I
give away
see.
the game.
No, I'm just saying because here's my special talent. I'm very
Mhm.
fast.
Nice.
Now this is me
Wow.
How'd
selling
you learn
myself.
how
No,
to
no,
draw
no,
so
no, no, no.
quickly?
I'm just saying I'm very good. Like if you say, "Hey, here's a really tight deadline. We need something fast and good." It's like I'm ready.
I'm
Put
on
me
that
in,
for it.
coach. And this
Yeah.
anthology went really really smooth. We didn't. I think we only had like a few dropouts, and they weren't significant in terms of page
Yeah,
count.
it was very early on.
I was like, oh, I don't have to jump in on this one.
Well, nice.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, it
though
was
I
really
did do
exciting.
the concept art for the cover. We could hired someone to do the cover, but I did
Yes.
the concept art.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw the
you
final
also,
version. It is looking very good.
that's nice, right? You were also responsible for inviting a lot of the artists on there
Oh
too, and
yeah.
making sure the stories, since Amanda is more of the monster fucker than I am, I wanted to bring on an expert to make sure that these stories,
Yeah. Need to have somebody with a Monster Fucker PhD
Well, it's
involved.
also
exactly.
one of the challenges with doing a monster girlfriend anthology. Monster boyfriend was easier because when it comes to like diversity of content, you don't really get a lot of erotica, a lot of monster boys. You just don't. It's changing and it's getting better, but you just
Yeah.
they're not there. So it's more like whatever monsters we can get, we'll take them. So there's a different vibe with my monster boyfriend. It's just, please somebody draw monster boys, we'll take them. I mean, we screened for good artists and stuff, but that was basically yeah. It can be a dude with horns.
Oh, I
It's
got in.
fine.
Yes.
No, it can be a dude with horns. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
But the thing with
Yeah.
Monster Girlfriend is there's an abundance of Monster Girlfriend concepts, and they are all. She's got cat ears. She has two
Yeah.
horns. She's got weird
Which
lines.
is fine for
It's
some
very
folk.
not my alley. I was like, no, 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 no. I don't think you. So curating my Monster Girlfriend was a different experience. It was much more. No, I need someone who vibes with the vibe, and I was very fortunate that I've just been slowly collecting a lot of artists in my my mental
Yeah.
Rolodex who get the vibe. I'm like, I
Yeah.
know these people will understand.
Yeah. I mean, the final cast. Wait, is it called cast? The final cast is like super good. So you did a good job.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
very
you.
proud of everybody who's in it. I unfortunately I had to leave a lot of like the later editing stuff to Andrea.
Oh no, how terrible. I have to look at all
And
this beautiful, beautiful
right, but like
pornography.
so I would only be able to peek into the to see everyone's art in later stages, and like I just everyone started turning stuff in and I peeked in and I was like, holy shit.
Hmm.
It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. Because my thing was more like the conceptual phases, like the scripts, the concepts, the designs, that stuff.
Hmm.
After that, I'm like, okay, I trust y'all. Go nuts.
Mhm.
I mean, you gotta have a sturdy foundation in order to build a good fuck house.
Exactly. That is what they always say.
That is what they
Yeah,
say.
old time.
But
I was
it's
just
looking
thinking,
good. And it's also the kind of group of people where you don't have to ask, can we maybe have a diversity of body types maybe? I didn't have to ask. Not once did I have to
Yeah.
no,
ask.
and
That's true.
diversity of monsters too, which I
Oh
like. I mean, we've
yes.
got ghosts. I want to say we've got at least one vampire, a couple of little trash goblins, I think.
Oh yes, we've got
And
a few trash
Otava,
jobs.
you're doing the Finnish mythology folk, right?
Yeah, I had giants, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And big
Um
ladies. There was a lot of big ladies, I guess, this time around.
You hear that? Big ladies. We've got
very
big
oh
Yeah.
ladies from
yes.
Otava
Small
coming for
ladies,
you.
big ladies, uh Merch is doing that story that's based. It's Lincoln Midna. It's just Lincoln Midna. It's fine. We
Shh,
understand.
shh.
Shh.
No,
No.
we
No.
scraped that
No.
we
It's
scraped
not
that.
them. No. 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 We
Mm-mm,
scraped the serial
definitely
number.
not.
Don't.
No,
Don't. Don't.
smudge, 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 smudge.
The moment they like sent their pitch,
Cough.
I was like, I know who you're catering to. You're very smart. But also
Hey,
Iris.
as long as you do it well.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Iris J is doing the giant eldritch horror, which is like,
Love
yeah,
that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
man, it's wild. I
Yeah.
I don't even because I'm not as much of a monster fucker, I'm definitely more on like the ears and tails side, like horns only type of side. But the y'all have awoken something.
Oh
Y'all have
yeah.
awoken something in me.
If
Yeah,
exactly,
that is the goal.
It's
if you can
weird.
find
It is
someone who, if
fucked
you
up
can
and
find people who
oh,
understand the assignment, they can
Yeah.
communicate it very well.
I understand now.
Sorry, the chat is
Yeah.
just big ladies, big ladies, big ladies.
Yes, good. They understand.
Well, depending on how many folks we get to watch the stream, maybe I can sneak some Monster Girlfriend art on our Twitter potentially.
Wink, wink. Gosh,
Wink, wink.
Taylor Robin is doing the basically the what would you call it? Anthropomorphic
Zephyrs.
weather systems.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
nights, right?
Basically,
like wind spirits.
yeah, they're basically
It
it's like
reminds me a lot of the original Fantasia, where you have the
yeah.
night come over the sky during the Roman mythology part.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
that, but big titties.
yeah, very
Yes.
big titties.
I'm also
Oh
excited.
gosh.
A lot of the we've got a lot of new things happening. Like I think this is one of our first smut peddlers with spanking. There's also a lot of eating out. Man, y'all are hungry.
Wait, is it the first one with spanking? That is wild.
Maybe
What?
Well,
no, it's not the
See?
first
I
one
would
with
say
spanking.
I think because with the Smart Peddler Historic that I did the sauna comic for,
Right.
I had a lot of people come in and say like, "Oh, it's some cool spanking going on there," and it confused me because like, there's the scene where so it has like the monk who is doing
Mm.
missionary work in Finland in like 12th century, and he ends up like, um, essentially like snowed in with this like Finnish hermit and
Big
like
man.
yeah, big man Lembo, and like there's like several scenes where they are in the sauna and they use vihta, which is like it's like a traditional Finnish thing that you do in the
Oh,
sauna,
it's
and
like the bundle of leaves, right?
yeah. It's like it's a washing thing, like it's used for bathing, but it's also like yeah, there's like both like ritual as well as like hygienic things tied into it culturally.
Huh.
And it's not a kinky thing at all. But I had like several things come in and tell me like, cool spanking going on in this comic of yours. So I was like, I was confused, like, where's the spanking in that comic? But like, I guess it is in theory spanking. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's definitely not something that's as widely known in the from our
yeah,
side.
It's on the
yeah,
butt pat to spanking spectrum.
yeah, exactly.
No, I loved your story in Smut Peddler Silver. I'm actually really excited. You're doing stuff with those characters, right?
Yeah. The rivals.
The wizards.
Yeah,
Oh,
like that story ended up like kind of being like a pilot for the comic that I'm doing now. Like I did it for the like I had like the vague idea for the characters like before, and when I got the call for it, I was like, I'm going to do it about these characters because like they were like right at the cusp of my brain at that point, and like it was a lot of fun, and like the moment I got it done, I was like, I need to do something more with this. Like I have like a world expanding about them,
Gentle
so
herbal flogging. It's what the chat says.
it's good for you.
yeah, it is good for you. You should try it if any of you have an access to a sauna, like a
Alas.
real wooden one.
Oh gosh.
So go
I have a dream
outside.
one day.
Yeah. So go outside, find a birch, that especially like in spring when it's like kind of supple and soft, and gather birch branches, tie them together with like a extra birch branch, and like hit your loved ones with it. It's really nice. It's really therapeutic.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
You heard
All
it
right,
here
hey,
first.
hold down the fort. I'm getting spaghetti.
Oh
I'll be
boy.
right back with spaghetti.
Okay, enjoy. Get the
Our
spaghetti.
spaghetti policy here is yes, spaghettis. I worry for Amanda's keyboard though. She's a professional.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got it.
Yeah, she's got it.
I have a wireless keyboard. I just pick it up and move it.
Look at you, fancy pants.
Yeah.
VRB.
I'm really digging your shading, what you're doing here.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I think during this book I like really got into just doing hatch work. It's really I don't know. It's really therapeutic, and I like the effect, and yeah,
There's
it fits
definitely a
horror.
couple of spots.
Yeah.
I really do have to say, I think Silent Lord is your most beautiful work so far.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. It is my newest work, so. But yeah, it
Well,
was.
I really this the scope of what you were doing with Shattered Spear was just so interesting with how that story seemed so much more broad and open on the page, and with letters, it's all very like tight and intimate. I just think it's so
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I mean, Shattered Spear. That was a lot of fun to work on. Like, I think that was the first time. Like, since I made that comic, I have been using basically the same brush for most of my like like comics that have more like an organic and like I guess like an outdoorsy feel, and like I
Mhm.
really like using it. And like with letters, I use like in the past I've used like a much kind of like a cleaner brush, like it has less like this speckle effect to it, and um yeah, that's fun to use as well. But like I think like with when I got to this third book, I started using like for the horror moments, I use this
Mhm.
brush because it just feels more like because it's less precise. It has more of like a fitting mood for horror. The
Yeah, very scratchy almost.
yeah, the actually the inking brush I use for letters is like this one, which is like much um cleaner.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Getting compliments in the chat, talking about your
thank
textures.
you, thank you. I do love textures.
Really digging what you're doing here with the veining and all this stuff.
Yeah, he accidentally has a heart in his veins now, which is
I did notice that, but I like that though.
I
yeah.
The
return.
way
If the
art works out
sound
for the
of me
best.
eating spaghetti is viscerally upsetting, let me know.
Dear
We
God.
will. No, that sounded like a threat. All right. um, no, I'm sure
Mm.
it's fine.
Any meatballs?
No,
Aw.
just
What are
meat.
you having the spaghetti with? Just
Uh,
meat.
I don't know. My mom, whatever my mom put in it, I think it's got like
Ah,
ground beef.
no,
It's
sounds
good
good.
for you.
Yeah.
It is not good for you, but it's good.
So, Otava, I follow you on your Twitter, and you were posting some concept arts that you were working on for um, some new characters, one of whom is a very attractive femme with very large boobs, and I gotta say, I'm really excited to see where that story is.
Oh yeah, Berlin, I think, or Berlin.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
I
actually,
want her to step on me so bad.
don't we all? Yeah, I actually that's like a huge coincidence. I like just last night I finished the script for the that comic. Um, like it's my plan that like it's gonna be probably my next like a short comic, short erotic comic that I've been doing. Like I have two out now. Like it's the Shadowed Spear and the Sasha from the Gym. And like this is like
Oh, right.
kind of like I mean, it wasn't supposed to be, but it kind of turned out into like this bookend for those two. So it'll be like a third story
I
about
like
like
that though.
strangers who meet and through kind of a unusual circumstance end up like affecting each other's lives somehow. And like I just like finished the like first draft of the script last night, and like I'm really looking forward to working on that whenever I have like a moment for it.
Chat is very excited for that story and also Wizards.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, like Wizards is probably the like, or not even probably, is like definitely the next one that I will like self-publish. Like I'm working on it now, and like I have
Mhm.
mm, the first chapter is like 80 pages, so I've got a little while to go through, but I'm trying to get it done for like late summer, and like I think I'm like on track for that deadline right now, and like I'm really excited for people to read that. It's like It's like
Yeah.
it's really cool to like work on like a new longer story that I've started with like all the knowledge that I've gained while working on like letters. Like I don't know, you get better when you work on stuff. Who knew? But like
Yup.
yeah, it's been like really interesting to like start a new like a long thing because the last time I started one was letters and it was like I was 25. So it's like it's really interesting to like approach like project organizing and like planning things and scripting things as like a 7 years older person and like comparing notes of like where you were when you started and where you are now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
that will be out in like late summer.
Oh,
Oh gosh, probably around the same time as this book. So I'm gonna have a really
competing books. Fight,
yeah. Oh
fight,
no,
fight, fight.
I will have to make sure that they're not on like exact same dates, but
I mean, hey, it could be
uh,
fun. I mean, just do a big,
yeah.
massive book signing for 2 books.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll see
yeah.
if people get Silent Lord. Maybe they could do something with like an itch.io code or that.
What now?
Um, people you could put like an ad in Silent Lord for your itch.io.
Oh, yeah. I
Mm,
mean, I am happy to do that,
Awesome.
obviously, if we can.
It may have already
Yeah,
gone to print.
also,
yeah.
like,
That
those
is.
URLs can sometimes change.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
very
also
true.
true.
So, unfortunately, this is the URLs are not forever phase. So, um,
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, technology.
but I think we can definitely advertise it in general.
Oh, I mean, I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
we're all really huge fans of your work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Spike especially. She got so excited when I sent her the final pages for Silent Lord that I just got back like a key mash, and then she was like offline for 2 hours straight.
I love that. That is so nice to hear.
Yeah, she was very, very into it, as are we
Yeah,
all.
yeah. I hope readers like this book. Like, I'm like genuinely a little bit scared of like how people react to it because like, I think it's like, it's kind of a a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how this pans out to like kind of change the tone of a story like midway through. Like I know I've sometimes read stuff and like the author kind of like has a swerve and I'm like I don't like this. But I'm like kind of preparing that there's gonna be probably like some people who are not into like um the change in
I
tone,
mean,
but like that's fine. Like it's like I don't know. I had to do the story like it is, and like I've been entertained myself, and like in the end, that's the only kind of like parameter that you can work on when you're making a story.
mhm.
Like
Look,
This
if they
one was
well,
don't like it, they
definitely.
can write their own fan fiction about how it should have gone.
exactly.
There you
I
go.
hope they do. That would
Suit
be nice.
yourself.
I want
This
that
Silent
coffee
Lord is
shop
definitely the scariest out
AU.
of the three, I think. Oh
Sorry,
no.
what did you say?
Oh, I was saying, Silent Lord's probably easily the scariest so far, the most horror driven.
Can I
Oh
be
yeah, of the
honest?
books.
I don't think
When
it's that
Silent
big a
Lord first shows
swerve
up.
because. Oh, sorry. Keep talking.
Oh no, you legitimately gave me nightmares. Like
To hear
there's
that.
a if if y'all have seen any of the preview art on Twitter, the Silent Lord is terrifying, and I was not expecting that, and so I read my proofs on my Surface, and so I'm in bed scrolling along, and it's just like, oh, all right, what's happened? Oh, what is no? Oh God! There's a lot of teeth. There's a
Uh
lot of the way that you do the word balloons even. They're black with white letters. It stuck with me. I didn't like that.
oh, I love to hear that.
Ugh,
I got a
it's
mouthful of food.
definitely.
Uh-oh. I want to hear what you were
Don't
saying a
forget.
second
I
ago though.
know.
I'm sorry.
But there was bread.
That's understandable.
But yeah, I actually don't think it's that big a swerve because throughout the first 2 books there were those hints of that stuff, like little hints. And I
Yeah.
assumed we were ramping up to it.
Yeah, that's good.
Like
That's
as
good
a
to hear.
reader, I just assumed we're ramping up to horror and that it's gonna
Mm.
happen. Because we kept getting
Yeah.
these little peaks. So like I don't feel like it's that big a swerve. I think you prepared us, and like the third book seems like the appropriate place to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Like, I think, I mean, I've done the thing that you're not supposed to do, and like looked at like Goodreads and what people say there, and like, like there sometimes there's like people who are like, I mean, it's an okay series, but I don't know. There's like no like, there's no world building, and like it doesn't seem to be like anything happening in the story. Yeah.
What?
So I'm always like, oh
What
God,
book
I
are
hope
they
people trust me
reading?
that. uh, yeah, but like I think I have like deliberately been kind of like keeping the cards to my chest, so to speak.
Like, there's not
Like,
world building. No one ever sits down and goes, "This is what's going on." But there's hints
yeah,
of it everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I mean,
also
you see a
like,
lot more of the Night Court in this one.
yeah,
The sisters, I love the sisters. They're my favorite.
yeah. They're also my favorite. Like, I wish I had moments to write them a bit more, but I'll have to do a spin-off of them or something.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
but yeah,
maybe as a
like, hmm?
as a bonus. Maybe as a bonus for the next kick crowdfunder.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cute. But yeah, I mean, what was I gonna say? It's difficult to draw and think at the same time because your
Yeah.
brain sometimes switches
You're
to like
doing
drawing, and
really
you're like,
well.
thank you. Yeah, I'm not thinking about when I'm drawing at all. I was just like autopilot because I'm speaking right now. But if I start thinking about when I'm drawing, my brain is like, oh, goodbye words.
That's why
um,
my favorite thing is to like listen to documentaries while I work, because it's like my brain is just engaged enough, but my eyeballs aren't engaged.
yeah, like I think like long YouTube videos are like the reason web like comics get done because
Yes,
like
100%.
yeah, like you just watch like so much shit while like inking and coloring and stuff.
And then people be like,
Yeah.
"How did you burn through your entire like?" Because I had a long playlist of long
Yeah.
YouTubes to watch. And like, how did you burn through it?
Mhm.
Every time? Because every time I sit down to draw, I have those running in the background. People are like, "Well, like this YouTuber makes lots of videos." I'm like, "Seen them all." Okay, what about this? Seen them all. What about this YouTube? Seen them all. Sorry.
Same. Yeah.
Enough content on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to probably get like a Nebula subscription because like a lot of the people whose stuff I burn through happen to have more stuff there.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
like, well,
Yeah.
I need
Yeah, I'm
more.
glad we're in the exact same position, like thinking about Nebula. Yeah, it's like I mean it's a blessing that people do like long videos about like really esoteric stuff like, oh yes,
Yes.
3 hour video about pathologic. I will watch this, thank you very much. I mean I did also go play pathologic after that, but
Thank you for
uh
this in-depth Neopets documentary. It's what I
yeah,
wanted and needed.
exactly.
I know there's one I watched recently. It's not. Is it that long? I forget the name of the YouTuber, but you can look this up. It's about like the history of caramel dancing.
Wow.
What
And
is
like
this?
how it's about like who made it and how like it's actually impossible to find out who made it and how like weird how it became such a big meme. It's really good. In fact, let me go look up the title. It's one that I don't see. In fact, I'll put it on YouTube because it's one I don't see people talk about as much as some of the other long deep dive videos. So I'm gonna give
Mhm.
that one a shout out in a little second. But yeah, it's one of my recent watches that I really liked. Also, they did this fun, awful remix, mashup of Da Young and the Haruhi theme, which is like, oh my god.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good one. I should share that with people. Yeah, it's by Jan Misali, I think. But yeah, it's
Oh,
I'll link it on
Shout out in the chat.
YouTube.
yeah.
The
Everybody link your
6 hour
favorite.
video about the
Yeah,
Tokimeki
yeah. It's
Memorial.
just called
We're
"Who
getting
Wrote
asked.
Caramel Dancing," and yeah, okay, it's 44 minutes long. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I don't think it has as many viewers as it should, so I'm gonna go link that on
I'll check that
Twitter.
out. Everybody on the
Yeah,
comments also link your favorite video,
Please
I
help
command you.
us.
Yeah.
Help.
I just watch drag queens, specifically the Trixie and Katja show on.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, absolute classic. Absolute banger. Love to see it.
we just started the new season, so I'm very excited about it.
Is it out?
Yeah, well, on the paid app it
On
is.
the okay, yeah.
Sometimes after you finish a couple of really hard books, you gotta treat yourself.
Yes, I mean, absolutely.
Ooh, someone's in the chat. Drawing hands. Yeah, Otava, I was gonna say the hand here is just exquisite. How dare you?
Yeah, hands are fun. Hands are easy. Get good. You can do it. You can do it. You can draw a hand. You in the chat.
You know, I actually, the last time I was talking to Carla Speed McNeil, I asked her how she drew hands so well, and she looked at me like I was crazy, and she just said, "It's at the end of your arm. How do you not draw it?"
Yeah, exactly. It's right
Like it's
there.
right
Look at it
there.
and then draw it. Just draw the
That's
rest of
exactly
the
what she
owl.
said.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Rest of the owl, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Hands are a lot of fun. Like obviously, every artist says like, "Oh, I love drawing hands. It's my favorite part." And it's like, yeah. What can you say? It is fun to draw hands, and like, it is such an expressive part of human body. So,
Really is.
so
Oh, we've got Coffee Shop AU, swerve into horror when it turns out the seemingly cute small hipster cafe full of hot people is owned by an evil 10,000-year-old billionaire. I'm into it.
Oh my god, sorry. People are still responding to that terrible post I made. I need to ignore it. Where I drew
Wow.
the big text in that scene from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I have to say, very pleased with how non-big techy the chat has been so far.
Oh, do you want me to... Oh, would you like that to change?
I don't.
Oh, we can
Sorry.
change...
Sorry, everybody. There's like a 20-second complete silence in the drawing front as I read through the chat and absorbed all the things you were saying there. So look forward to that when it hits you.
I don't know what you're talking
Take a
about.
rest when you need it. Oh, we have another WoW Presents Plus subscriber in the chat. I see you. I acknowledge you. You're valid.
I think I know who this person is, and they are extremely not valid. I love you, Mura. You're actually valid.
Called out.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Called out. Yeah, I don't watch as much long form YouTube, but I have splurged on cable app for us, and it's got Turner Classic Movies channel on it. They don't show commercials. It's just all of the like classic curated movies, and I put them on in the background. And now I talk like a drag queen from like the 1930s,
Oh, I love that.
which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. There's Big Tex. Thank you,
I
Amanda, for
actually
my
forgot
nightmares.
about him, and you reminded me. Thank you. I had him all prepped and ready to
Well,
go.
Oh wow, there's an overlay.
Yeah.
yeah. The what is it now? It's a mascot of some
It
sort?
is basically a mascot at the Texas State Fair. It is huge. It has burned down before and been rebuilt. It's actually been rebuilt once, then it burned, and it got rebuilt again. It's just this giant, and it advertises a boot store in Dickies. It's just Big
Wild.
Tex. He's a very, very big cowboy that's like kaiju mecha size, and he greets you at the Texas State Fair.
It's really scary.
He is very
Everything's
scary.
bigger in Texas.
Is he a human?
I think so. He's supposed to be a human.
What is he made of? Wood?
I don't know. Plaster, I think?
I like fiberglass, maybe.
Yeah, I don't
I see.
remember, but he's terrifying.
Nightmares. Nightmares. He's made of nightmares.
On Steam, Big Tex used to be my Steam avatar, and in certain games where like your Steam avatar is above your head, I would forget because I turned that off. But I would like join a group with other people, and they'd be like, "Oh God, what is that?" And I'd be like, "What? What?" Like, and they're like, "Your avatar." I'm like, "Oh, it's Big Tex. I'm sorry."
That's a power move.
But
Oh,
I
he shows
always
up in a
forgot.
King of the Hill episode. Wild. King of the Hill, American anime.
Watch that episode of King of the King of the Hill with Big Tex, and you will understand. Oh, I can go get
Oh,
it.
someone mentioned it sounds like the Swedish Yule goat gets lit on fire.
Yeah, I was
rightfully
just
so.
about to ask if somebody has mentioned the Yule Goat in the chat because, yeah.
Except the fire was not on purpose. Here, I'll go get it. I'll go get that.
We already have. There's already scary enough on the screen here.
Oh, it's leaving soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, We need this kaiju here.
Oops. I need to move this. Okay, sorry. All right, let me go get big text. In fact, there's a great image. If I can just... I deleted it from my files. I don't know why. I keep needing it.
Maybe it deletes itself because
I don't think
it's
that's
a
how
monster.
it works. I
It's
think
awful.
it just always lives.
Pure evil.
Okay, let me just... Here you go. Here's big text for y'all. And
Thank
big
you
text
for-
on fire.
Oh boy.
I want to see this,
Okay.
so
There he is.
I
A
will
nightmare.
horrify everyone with big text. That is my goal. This has become a part of
So-
my identity now.
When people overseas think of America, this is what they think of, right?
I don't know. Big text is a
Literally,
little
yeah. No, it is what I
extreme.
think.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
I mean, America's
No,
very
you guys are all
big.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just heard something recently. Apparently, it's a thing in Finland to give away buckets.
Yes. Hold on. In what context? In what context are we giving buckets?
Like when you get like when a supermarket opens, or like as a free giveaway, as like a bonus giveaway.
It's like a gift bucket.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, the Finnish people, which I know are in the comments, sound off and tell the bucket lore because I'm not on top of that shit, but I think we do give buckets.
Ooh,
I
got
didn't
that
think that's
email.
an odd thing.
Well, it's good to know that you guys get the weird stuff the same way that we do. Like that's
Oh,
the sort of stuff
absolutely.
we hear about you guys. Imagine what you guys are hearing about us. We're mostly normal over here, I promise.
Yeah. I mean, America is so huge that there has to be extremely weird and extremely mundane things over there.
Yeah.
But Texas seems to
Yeah.
be only weird.
Wow, my life has gone full circle. My name might be actually on manga in the future. Wow.
My God.
Wow.
I'm being vague with the details, but I might have got a localizer job for manga, so it's like one way or another, my name will be on manga.
I love that. Good for you.
Uh,
I want a big shout out in the chat for not knowing this thing. I'm sorry, I'm misrepresenting Finland by not knowing this.
Are you too much of a boomer?
Okay,
to
Mura's
not
telling
know?
the tea in the chat now.
uh-huh.
Puts away Homestuck.
Okay, yeah, so they saw the same TikTok meme that I did.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't go to TikTok like you, like spunky little teens. I don't know what's going on there, so if the world changes there, I don't know about it. So
Oh my gosh, we had to pull back the curtain, we had an Iron Circus meeting that was about like, oh god, I guess we got to get into TikTok, and I was like the only one who knew what TikTok was like.
Lynn is the only one who can speak to the children.
There were all these
But what-
suggestions about like what to do, and I'm like, oh, that won't work. The kids will see right through that.
Are you like gonna like TikTok dance and be like, buy the comic, and then you point at the
We have
and
plans. One of the strategy is basically to not lean into TikTok trends and just do our own thing on the TikTok platform. Because if you try to lean into the trends, the children will smell
Oh, no.
blood
yeah.
and they
That
will
you-
eat you.
They will know that you have posted cringe. And
Yes. You either have to avoid cringe by just not opening yourself up to it, or post intentional cringe. Those are the two extremes.
Exactly, yeah.
The younger generation is just too powerful.
Yeah.
They always have been.
That's
Youths.
But at the same time, there's a market on TikTok, like, for, like, you know, just basic, like, here's a tutorial about how to use Clip Studio. Look, here's a preview of this book. Like, I'm gonna probably repurpose a lot of, like, our trailer videos to be in a vertical format.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, that's not hard, and that's welcome. No one's gonna go, like, these old people are trying to advertise to us on the platform. No, it's just, they're gonna see that and go, I see what you're doing. That's fair. But if we tried to, like have, like, our characters are doing the new dance, they would eat us alive.
I legitimately don't know how to floss, and every time I've tried, I've hit myself in the kneecap and it hurts. So I'm too old and I will not do it.
People aren't flossing anymore.
Yeah, I think flossing is like last year.
There's a floss adjacent dance going around, but it is not flossing.
What is
I
it?
am
I don't
30
know.
or 40 years old, and I do not need those.
Usually, lately, they're named after like whatever song they're attached to. That's what happens lately. Is like there will be a song, someone will do a little dance to it, and it'll become the blank song dance.
I see.
That's
Well,
what
that's good marketing for the
lately.
songs, huh?
Oh
Mhm.
man, there's a lot of TikTok has been great for obscure and old music. There's been a
Yeah, I
lot of
see a
like
lot
that's
of the
why you'll
kids like the kids listening to the older albums.
oh
Bless their
yeah.
hearts.
That's why you'll suddenly see like why did this old song that hasn't been on the radio in like 20 years suddenly blowing up? And it's like TikTok. I mean, that's how I found some people. Like, I wasn't into Willow Smith till TikTok. TikTok, then one of Willow Smith's songs like got real big on TikTok, and that's how I got exposed to it. And I'm like, oh, I guess I really like Willow Smith. I never would have known that.
There you go.
I didn't know
I'm
Willow
lucky
Smith
I'm
made music.
See, I would have just assumed it was all the stuff they did as a kid, where it was like the whip my hair back and forth meme song. But like, no, they make their own stuff, and I like it. Wow, thanks TikTok. Thank you, children.
The children
Yeah, I
are
really-
alright.
They always
really
have
do feel-
been.
Yeah.
Bless them.
I listen to the college radio station, and that's where I learn what new music is. I can't help it. Ooh, we're talking about the Yule goat in the chat.
Good.
All the times it's been destroyed. No, Mura, I'm still looking. This is great. Okay.
Yeah, tell us everything about the Yule Goat.
Burnt by
I'm
unnamed
mostly just,
vandals
like-
dressed as Santa and the gingerbread man by shooting a flaming arrow at the goat.
Like who has flaming arrows? Come on, guys.
Somebody
See, the
had 'em.
drunk teenagers, I
true.
believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. When it comes to like teenagers, do you remember being a teenager and like there was always like the kids with the extremely specialized interests? Like there
Yes,
was
I
the
was
kid
one.
who knew how to do
I
like
think everybody in this voice chat is one.
yes.
Yeah.
Like yeah, there was like the kid who was really good at football and there's the kids, you know, the nerds who like D&D, but then there was a one kid who like knew how to build medieval siege weapons. And it's like, "How? How do you know this 17-year-old?" And
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, go in my backyard. I've been like building my own trebuchet out of like stuff from the junkyard and it works. And
The
I'm
joys
going
of
to jail
hyper-focusing.
now because I used it."
I had a corkboard wall in my bedroom when I was a teenager, and I bought a special edition of Lord of the Rings that had the maps in the back, and I photocopied them for a dime a piece at the library, and I tacked them up to the wall, and I color coded them based on the journeys of each member of the Fellowship.
Oh my god.
That is
I did not have friends.
that is very
Holy.
90s. That is very pre-internet.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I mean, the internet
I love
existed. I was not allowed on it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Probably for the best.
Oh man,
I
took
think
advantage
about
of
if
that
the internet
whole,
existed
it only
when I was a
costs 10
kid.
cents
Oof.
to print something in the school library. I'm like, I printed so many fan fictions.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I used to print out game FAQs, entire game FAQs.
Oh that
That's
yeah,
very
those were the good times. Yeah.
Back in the good old days.
Someone said I was doing sick donuts in the parking lot as a teen, and someone says this is probably something. Mira says this is probably something else in the pastry.
I've done both. I've eaten donuts in a parking lot, and I've also whipped my car around.
I have never
In a
done
donut.
donuts. I've always been an extremely responsible driver. Wow.
So I grew up in Michigan, and we get crazy amounts of snow. Where I grew up, we had like 3 feet on the regular, and so we were taught how to do like donuts and when you fishtail and how to pull out of it because of black ice.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we would take it to parking lots, and my dad would just be like, "All right, now what can you do?" And he would pull an emergency brake, and it would screw out, and I'd
I love
have
that.
to avoid dying. Oh,
Oh,
child.
I used to do that. I used to print out anime screenshots and put them in a protective sleeve in a binder. That binder is how
Yeah,
I got
well.
in trouble because I drew a lady with big boobs and put that in the front of my binder in the little clear cover part, and they were like, "You cannot have this. Like you are like basically I would walk down the hallway with all my books under my arms between classes, and that was facing out, and they were like, "You have to remove that. I don't care what's in your binder, but you can't like have like a giant boob billboard while you walk up and down the halls." And it was like, okay.
Rookie mistake.
Well, I was also a little goody two shoes, so like I didn't like to ever get in trouble. And for some reason, in spite of
Aw.
being a fairly bright kid and a goody two shoes, I never thought that boobs on the front of my binder isn't gonna get me in trouble. Woohoo!
Aw.
Nice.
I'm
Hey,
15.
Very
Oh
cute,
God, it's
though.
no masters.
Boobs on a binder. Terrible.
Mm.
Ooh, we've got questions in the chat. We've got questions in the
Otava,
chat.
what was your way to research historical facts for your comics? There's a lot of little details in Shattered Spear that make it feel really alive, for example.
I mean, I think most of the research is like me being obsessed with the topic and like just reading, like finding a book I've been recommended, or like just, I don't know, crawling the internet and hearing a recommendation or like a book that sounds good, and I read it, and then I'm like, oh, I am consumed by a hyper focus about this specific thing, and I have to make something about it. So that's kind of like how the thing starts, and then like once I know that I'm researching for a specific thing, like right now I'm reading about like Finnish prehistory, and like I'm reading about Vikings, and I'm reading about like Finnic and like Central Uralic and Siberian like indigenous cultures and history. Just kind of as like a general research for my next comic, but also like kind of I have this like I want to do a comic about like Iron Age Finland and Iron Age Nordic area in the nearby future. So I'm um like keeping my eyes open for like I don't know, articles or studies or like anything about the topic, and then I
Sorry, I was reading the chat. The
Being
chat.
in the orbit of your hyper focus because you also have to learn about whatever you're hyper focused on.
yeah,
Also,
I do
I
feel
mean,
bad. I do feel bad for my friends.
yeah, me too. My friends are so patient. They have to listen to me going on about like absolute bullshit that they don't give a shit about, and like, thank you so much for
See,
sticking around.
I need to get in the phase of sharing things again, because my problem is with my hyper focus stuff, I just go quiet and I disappear. And then I come back and someone's like,
Yeah.
"So what have you been doing, man?" I was like, "Oh, not much." And it's like been listening to documentaries and researching airplane crashes for like a month.
Oh no.
Like, oh no, not a big deal.
Oh damn.
When I've actually been falling down, like, or like listening to like engineering disasters nonstop for like a month while I work, and it's like, no,
Man.
just
How does that treat your brain?
I enjoy
Is my-
it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah.
like learning. Well, I like learning about engineering disasters because it's also usually about psychology. Because engineering disasters almost never just the result of like science. I mean, science is involved, but almost every time there's an engineering problem or disaster, it's because of something to do with human behavior. Either because we just decide, oh, this system's working, we don't need a backup. Or, we can substitute these things. Why would we ever have to deal with the worst case scenario? There's a comic I'm pitching, or I'm working on the pitch right now. It's kind of a middle grade horror for kids, and it is kind of based around my interest in airplane crashes. Like, why do airplanes crash when they are so technically sound and we have all these great systems in place? And it really just boils down to like task saturation and like humans have like a set amount of things they can focus on at once. And there's this there's this concept called the invisible gorilla experiment, where like people were given a very specific set of tasks and outcomes to focus on, and they were like overwhelmed with focusing on them that they didn't notice like a person in a gorilla suit walking
Yes.
through the
Yes.
room. They
I've
just
been
didn't
there.
notice.
I've been there.
And
Yeah.
that's why like you can have people with these amazing systems that have all these alarms that can go off, and they will be so focused on their task they won't even hear this alarm system going off. And that's kind of what this proposal's about. So it's like people are like, "What have you been doing?" It's like, nothing. Research.
I love that. I really want to read this now. Whatever you're making, like that is such a fascinating topic.
Yeah.
Will you follow me on the priv, right?
Sorry?
The private tweets.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Cool.
Have you posted there?
No, I will. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I'm
will
looking forward to
definitely
that.
yell about it there.
Yes.
The
Okay,
secrets.
nice.
Yeah.
I think
Gosh, gosh.
like that's a really interesting topic, but like I find like personally like when I'm like when I'm researching something that's like really grim and really hopeless, like I enjoy it, like I'm really interested in it, but like I definitely have like this limit where I notice that like my mood like crashes and I become like really
Ah.
like I feel like really bad because of the what I'm ingesting and like do you not like have that when you read about like the worst things on Earth?
Mm, I always, it's,
It
I
brings
have a
me
very
down, and I
trivial,
don't tend to do it.
yeah.
That's why, like, when I'm like looking, like, the reason the engineering disasters fascinate me is because usually after one, they figure out how to stop it from happening again. Usually, like, it's
Yeah,
almost always a lesson in fixing things. Like, yes, this bridge collapsed, but it collapsed for this very specific reason, and now they don't build bridges like that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a
yeah,
Yeah.
sense of at least
Regulations are made in
progress when
blood.
it comes to engineering disasters, and like, oh, well, we learned that airplane pilots have this problem, so we're now trying to train them. You know, there's solutions usually. There's ways
Hmm.
that this doesn't have to happen, and sometimes it
yeah,
never happens
It's sad
again.
with a ray of hope.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
sometimes this stuff never happens again.
Yeah, yeah, that's an interesting perspective or point.
And almost every single problem can be tied to capitalism.
Oh yeah, ain't that the
Every
way?
90,
time, every
99% of
time.
engineering problems.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Wah, wah,
I
wah.
I used to get really bad about my hyperfocus. I actually almost missed a flight once because I was too busy reading a comic.
Oh yeah, I feel it. Oh no.
Like I was in Boston, I was in Logan Airport, and I was reading Marion Churchland's Beast, which is fantastic, and it was so good that I had to run like two terminals for the last call.
Oh my god,
Uh,
yeah, no, I have like not slept before a convention because like someone like I got a book that day or someone handed me something, and usually I'll like flip through them so I can like I don't even remember what it was, but it was, I think it was SPX. One SPX almost did not sleep because I bought this like thick I can't remember what book it was, but I just started flipping through it, and before I was done I was like, oh, I need to go to bed. Oh no.
I do that a
yeah.
lot. Oh, I can just read a little bit further.
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
It's yeah.
I've definitely
Still up reading at 4 a.m. every time.
Yep. That's why like it was always like tragic if a new book came out when I was like a preteen or teenager that I liked, because like I just wouldn't sleep that night because
Oh
I am
yeah,
like
sure.
incapable of like picking something up, reading a few chapters, and putting it down. It's always like pick it
Mhm.
up, just read till you're done, and then it's like, time
Oh
to go
yeah,
back
for
to
sure.
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. I mean, I still struggle with this. Like, if there's a book that I'm into, I'm like, oh well, I guess this week I'm not sleeping very well because I'm finishing this fucking book. Yeah.
That's why the whole binge, being able to binge shows has been very bad for me. It's like, because it's like I don't have the
Mhm.
ability to like. I'm
Mm.
sure I do. This is probably, I'm going in for ADHD testing. I might have a pre-existing problem
Join us.
complicating
Yeah.
factors, but like it's been very bad. Like I remember, like I'm only gonna watch a few episodes of the Centaur World. Oh, I guess I finished Centaur World, and my
Yeah.
butt hasn't moved. I can't.
It's the
I can't do
autoplay.
that
It's the
stuff.
autoplay.
No, it isn't
That
the
stuff just makes it
autoplay.
so
I
easy.
click the next button. I can't
Oh,
resist. It's not even the
you are
autoplay. It's
your
the
own
fact
worst
that
enemy.
it's there and no one's stopping me.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of miss not having autoplay and not having like everything drop in one go because like I mean, I like watching it all in one go, obviously. I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
thank God the next episode is here. But also like it's nice to wait,
Yes.
like having a weekly ritual of, oh, today the thing airs and like I don't know. It feels like getting possessed by the thing when you like go through all
Yes.
of it in one go. And
Hmm.
like I don't know if I like having that little control of myself. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, ugh.
I've noticed that sequential storytelling especially seems to benefit from a little bit of like a um break between.
Time to
For sure.
digest.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I do miss that and stuff. Like, I do like time to digest between episodes or between volumes, because that's what I usually do, would prefer to do. Like, this is what I would prefer to do is watch or read something, gestate it with it, and like digest it for a while, go back and reread parts, go over, rewatch parts. But I don't do that when it comes to like, oh, we've dropped an entire series, or you binged this entire like 3 volumes of this comic because you got from the library, because like you have no self-control, because then it's
Mhm.
like I burned through those 3 volumes, or I watched that whole season, and then I didn't really sit with any of it. None of it soaked in. So now I'm
Yeah.
going back and like slowly rewatching stuff I've seen before, because like I don't know. It's what I prefer to do. The thing I end up doing is a compulsion. I don't. It's not how I would prefer to consume stuff. It's just
Yeah, for sure.
brain problems, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like. It feels like. I mean, it's probably is also brain problems because I also have brain problems. But like, I think, yeah, I wish there was like, I wish there was some like stoppers in any media that was like, okay, you've watched 3 today. Now it's time to take a break and think about what you've seen and like come back tomorrow. Like it's sometimes it's like it's kind of a bummer to go through a whole thing in like a single day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm dead. God, like it's just one of those things. Like if you told me like 4 or 5 years ago, I think you might have ADHD, I'd be like, no. And now it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
also helped hearing it from other adults my
Mm.
age, their experiences, because like both of my brothers got diagnosed with it when we were younger. So I just assumed, oh, it's this the way. It's a certain way. And then it was like, oh,
Mhm.
wait, it manifests differently for different people? Oh
Yeah. Yeah.
no. We might all
Yeah.
be like siblings in arms on this subject.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of I have nothing to do here but stare into the void, and I can't distract myself with the outside anymore, so.
Well, I think because people talk about like the concept of hypercompetence, like it can result in hypercompetence, and there's something
Oh
about the
yeah.
phrase hypercompetence that sounds like boastful. I don't like it.
Mhm.
What is like? Does
Hyper
ADHD make you hyper
It
confident?
can,
Confident,
because
or
it can when you're like in the zone.
is it like you're compensating for?
No, it's more like you're
Or
performing very, very, very well. Very like you can go from like you can't do anything, but then you find something that catches your attention and you do it and you get it done and you get it done efficiently and you get it done really, really well. Like you perform extremely well under pressure, and
Mhm.
you excel, and then you try to repeat that and you can't.
Yup.
So that's why getting like self help has been weird, because of the way like the language is constructed around it. It's like, well, I don't think I'm hyper competent, but then when I heard someone else break it down differently, I'm like, oh wait, yeah,
Mhm.
no, there we go.
yeah, yeah.
Kel is asking, what is Otava? What is your secret to drawing such sexy dudes?
Oh God.
Well, I mean, you just look in the mirror and you draw what you see, right? I assume,
Oh my.
right? Waka waka.
Uh.
Ah, you're banned.
I I don't know. I think it's like fun. Like it's gonna sound so cheesy, but I think like every person is sensuous in some way, and like kind of finding that about that person, whether fictional or real, is kind of like how you make them look. I don't know, attractive. That's a very
Makes
simple
perfect
Here's the
answer,
sense.
but
secret: you draw
uh,
what you're attracted to.
yeah, that too.
Well, there's that
Yeah.
cute little way that Lucardo takes Ed's glasses off before he kisses him sometimes.
Aw, yeah,
It's very sweet.
yeah. I don't know, like all those mannerisms, and I don't know, like I think to me, like I don't know, I've always been like really drawn to like what humans look like not necessarily like beauty and attractiveness, but like just like the truth of like what people look like. I'm like really interested to like draw unique looking people and like I guess like figure out like also like stuff like my own self-image and like maybe like conversations I've had with other people around me about like beauty and attractiveness and like I don't know, everything like that. So it like I don't know, it all bleeds into what I draw. But I'm glad
Mm.
if people think that I draw attractive. Attractive, whatever.
Kel's gushing
Um,
in the chat.
Well, I also think it helps that
no.
like some doors have been kicked open when it comes to like erotic sequential art in comics and stuff is sort of a seeing the proof in the pudding that there's audiences for certain things, because like lots of people like a lot of different things that you don't see because they just assume, well, no one else is going to want this, when the reality is, oh wait, a lot of people
Yeah.
want this, they just have never known it, it's out there for them to have. Like that was kind of like the backbone of most of my own erotica, was sort of a making something I'm like, I don't think anyone else wants this, and it turns out, oh, there's a lot of people who've wanted this very thing for a very long time, but no one's made it.
Yeah, for sure.
And now there's
I
way
also like,
more stuff that's just like what I used to make, and that's
yeah,
great.
yeah, for sure. I don't know. I also like I believe in like kind of like this plasticity of like attraction. Like I think like as we grow and as we see things, we can like kind of change
Yes.
what looks attractive to us. Like I know for sure, like for a fact that like for me, thing like what I find genuinely attractive and what I like what looks like good to me has like changed a lot over time. Especially like because people draw different like people draw diverse looking people um and like it's changing what we like like you said, like there's a lot more like stuff that used to be like really hard to find in like 2010 or something, and like
Hmm.
I don't know, it's good. And I
I th-
think like it's also fun to like partake in that. Like whenever I like design like whenever I design new characters, I think about new stories. I do want to like think about uh I want there to be both like something that is like comfortably like attracted to me, but I also want there to be something that's kind of like new to me and like kind of like challenges my own kind of like like preconceptions as well. Like I want to have like kind of a blend of both those things, and like I always want to like when I design new characters, I want to kind of like what new can I do this time,
well, I also
sort of
think
Yeah.
thing.
like people also forget and sometimes need to be reminded that like a lot of what makes someone sexy is the light they're cast in and the way they're
Mm,
presented.
Hmm.
Like a lot of people like have like in my head, this is my ideal partner, what they might look like in terms of pure just raw sexual attractiveness. But you don't always end up with that person, or and yet you
Hmm.
still find your own partner who doesn't reach those, I guess, standards, I guess, very attractive and, very sexually attractive. And it's because of the light they're painted in. You see them in a sexual light. And a lot of erotica in the past has been very much just trying to portray an ideal, and but not trying to just take a person and portray them in a sexual light. And I think that's happening a lot more often when people get to like, and now people are doing it themselves. Like, no, I'm not. Especially in my porn now, I don't think everyone I draw is like necessarily the sexiest person I've ever drawn,
Hmm.
but I
yeah,
definitely like the situations they're in,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it really results in like a whole. Like this is an extremely sexy experience, even though I can't say like this is the most attractive person I've ever seen in my life, and this
Hmm.
is not necessarily maybe in the sexiest scenario there's ever been, but the whole of it makes for a satisfying experience, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
does, yeah.
I think also like this kind of like mathematical beauty and like attractiveness, they're like very separate for me. Like there are people who are very beautiful who are not like attractive to me at all,
Yes, a hundred
and
percent.
there's
Hmm.
like there's people who are not considered like like traditionally beautiful who are like extremely like blowing socks off my feet attracted to me, and like it's like very I don't know, it's like such a sum of like big like many different parts of like what makes people attractive. And like I don't know, I try not to draw like beautiful people. Like I guess like Ed and Lucardo are both like very beautiful people, but like I try to like I don't know, I try to diversify it more like as I get further with my arts and crafts, and like try not to do like this very narrow margin of like beautiful and sexy, and like try and introduce like new things in there. But also for myself, so I like so my own like kind of perception of things widens, because like I think ultimately, if you yourself only draw like extremely beautiful, extremely like traditionally acceptable bodies, you're kind of
Hmm.
like also gonna take that view back home to yourself, and you're gonna like feel worse about yourself also, and like judge yourself on that standard. Like it feels very like freeing to. What are you laughing at? Is there something in
Oh,
the chat?
you made me think about something.
Sorry.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
No, you made me think about something vaguely relevant is like what makes someone attractive. I remember there was a Taylor Swift video with a bunch of different like actresses and musicians in it doing cameos, and there's this one lady in this one scene had short hair. She was fine. She was attractive. I'm like, yeah, she's pretty. She's attractive. And then she started chomping on a cigar, and like a switch got flipped in my head. And I was like, oh, now she's hot. It was so weird. It was like, I was like, yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she's very attractive. But then she like suddenly like puts a cigar in her mouth and like, oh, this is the hottest thing I've ever. Like, it's weird the way human brains are and what you find attractive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's something about femmes in a business suit. I don't know what to tell you. Where they just wear the jacket with no shirt underneath, and you can see the little bit of the cleavage.
Yes.
It's the little details. It's really hard to like honestly, and I think that speaks a lot to it. Is it is hard to like kind of like figure out like, okay, what exactly are you attracted to? I'm like, well, I guess I like this and I guess I like that, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of things and nothing.
Yeah. I have a lot of I wanted to be them before I realized I wanted to fuck them.
Yeah, that is not always very obvious which one it is.
I mean, it's basically my sexuality and attractiveness can be summed up best as the cast of Hackers.
Ugh.
I do not know this.
I'm
What is
judging
this?
you harshly.
Hackers
Oh,
is
no.
a movie from the 90s that has Johnny Lee Miller, Angelina Jolie, Matthew Lillard, and a whole bunch of other adorable folks in just the best ridiculous 90s gear and the best ridiculous 90s computer jargon.
Also, everyone
sounds
looked a
good.
little greasy.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good
that's,
though.
that's the 90s.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard
Everyone was so
specifically, God bless
greasy
that
in the
man.
90s.
You shush.
It's true, though. I was there. I remember how greasy everyone was.
Whatever happened to that? The gel that all of the that was so popular at the time that would like stiffen and crunch.
Oh, it's still out
Oh.
there. It's just not as popular anymore.
Is that what
That's what I
called
always-
frosted
yeah.
tips?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mmm.
Oh,
The old
I remember.
Guy Fieri treatment.
Oh God, I remember. In middle school, I had a middle school boyfriend whose like hair didn't move ever.
oh.
Like
Wow.
it was just like parted down the middle and kind of like the widow's peak style part. But he would like gel it and comb it, and it would look perfectly straight. Like it looked like you should be able to run your hands through it and part the hair, but it was stiff.
Oh,
Wow, this 3D modeled hair.
Yes, 100%.
oh god.
Like plastic doll hair, and that was really popular when I was in middle school. Like it was like dudes would just comb their hair, figure out, and then set it in like with a high gloss varnish.
Oh yeah.
I love fashions.
Yeah.
Like the wind's blowing, and his hair's the only hair that's not moving. Oh god! I walk up with like a fork and go ting. Oh, that
You know,
jealous.
Kel was just
Chat
complimenting
says
the
that
blowy
jealous
chair, the
popular
blowy
with
hair.
dads.
Oh lord.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And yes, the hair is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I'm
hair
really
we talked
loving
about.
This,
The hair you're
nightgown
drawing.
is what I'm looking at here. There's a lot of fabric.
Yeah, it is a very fantastical nightgown this time around because I wanted
I
it
love
to
it.
flow past the hand.
Make it extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. PS1 graphic
PS1
hairstyle, yeah. I was no better. I had cornrows once because like there was a summer when like white girls were getting cornrows, and like my stepmom was kind of like always like, yeah, everyone's got it. Y'all got to do the newest thing. And
Oh,
I just
yeah.
remember being like, I have to have this. Like, yes, it's the summer thing. So me and my stepsister got cornrows, and it was awful.
Did you ever
Aw.
get those hair wraps? The where they tie your hair in thread?
Yes, I had that. I
I-
had
Right.
that thing. Like we got the machine My stepmom borrowed it from a friend. It was that weird. It looked like a gun with a hoop, and you could put your hair
Hmm.
in it, and as it passed over your head, it would wrap your hair in like thread.
It's 90s.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it backfired a lot.
Oh no.
Oh God, I remember I did have that one
Yeah, that tangles
strand
real easy.
with like a bead at the end, and like I remember like, okay, I'm tired of this. What do I do with this now?
You
Oh
have to
yeah, I
cut it
remember
off.
these beads. Yeah, yeah. What did
Oh
you do?
God. I don't remember. I just remember it was there and then it wasn't. The cornrows were awful because again, like I'm a white girl.
Hmm.
One, that cornrows on white people. Two, sunburn on my scalp.
Yep. I had a middle part growing up, and every year I always had sunburn along the middle.
Like, oh,
Ah, oh no.
that was just awful that summer where I had like a sunburnt scalp and like stripes.
Mm.
It was like, and then the skin peeled.
Ah,
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a bad summer.
Damn.
Matthew Lillard and senseless. I'm gonna have to look this up. We're talking Matthew Lillard in the chat. Don't mind me. I can't help it. I just love a goofy dad.
There's a lot out there like you.
I know. I know.
So you like goofy dads. I'm crafting a sword called the Dad Slayer. So like somewhere
Where
Hold
there's
is
on.
some
Are
middle
you,
ground.
who is being talked to? Sorry, I was looking at the chat. Good night, Sour Goat and Nightingale Lost.
Can't wait to have book 3. We're gonna get it to you. Don't you worry.
Yeah, speaking about goofy dads.
Fight dads with a sword.
Oh, this is looking real good. I'm really digging the I guess it's not a wash if it's digital, but
It's the same.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
lot. It's the same. It's the same.
yeah.
It's the same.
Exactly.
Like I have like gone out of my way to like recreate my traditional tools in Clip Studio Paint.
Yeah,
I've made a brush that looks like a ballpoint pen because I miss doodling in ballpoint pen. I
nice.
made I
oh,
made wash brushes that look like what I would do ink washes. I've gone out of my way to like recreate my Pentel pocket brush.
Oh wow.
for the ballpoint pen, do you have a thing in it where it'll like slightly skip a little?
It does. One of them does skip.
Ah,
Are you doing the brushes yourself? Like,
Yes.
oh wow, that like are you how are you doing them? Like, what's the
Um, you kind of draw the brush tip yourself, and then you go into the settings and just make it work with the settings. I'm actually something I'm doing for our circus. I'm going to first we're gonna for our TikTok we're actually gonna make tutorials. Because that's been real popular for Spike. So basically, we're just going to translate some of Spike's Clip Studio tutorials to TikTok format. And something I am going to do specifically is do a brush tutorial. That's something I've been meaning to do for a while, so I will definitely let you know when that's done. But yeah, it is a process. It's not hard once you know how to do it.
yeah.
Most of my brushes just involved me drawing like freehand drawing the brush tip and then figuring out how to make it shaped right.
Mhm. I see.
I have like
Like,
cross
so
hatching. Huh?
so you like you're physically drawing with the tool in the real world, and then you're scanning that, or
You can.
oh, okay, fine.
It just depends on how you want to do it. My Pentel brush, my Pentel pocket brush pen brush that I made is based on me drawing a line with a pocket brush. My ballpoint pen is more just me tweaking a basic circle brush until I got it the way I wanted it. And once you learn what all the different settings do, it's easier to like make them do what you want to do. Like learning what the different stroke settings do, learning the velocity settings, learning the how to like randomize different aspects. Like randomization can be applied to almost every aspect of a brush. So that's been real helpful.
Yeah, that's actually like that's something I've been thinking about. Like, I want to at some point figure out like how to adjust the presets, because like I have no idea what the fuck any of those things do. Like sometimes I try and touch them and I'm like, I don't what did this do? I don't know. It's ruined my brush. And at some point, I want to like just really go in there, like figure out what they do. So that sounds kind
Honestly,
of
20% of what I know I learned from YouTube tutorials. The other 80% I learned by just sitting down and goofing off.
yeah, yeah,
Just sit down, press every single button and see what they do. And
yeah.
that's how I've learned some stuff that I didn't even find in tutorials that I now do a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Makes sense.
what's it? I have this weird hatching brush that I made. That was an accident. And I really like it. I have another, like, I have an ink splatter brush. If I don't know if you ever looked at my art and seen, like, it looks like little ink splatters of me, like if you get a toothbrush and dip it in ink and
Ruthie
splatter it. I have
Interesting.
a brush to do that, and so like if you ever see like a little white dots on my art, that's my ink splatter
okay.
brush.
Cool.
And that was me
Oh.
basically hand drawing little tiny ink splatters, like
Oh, I
this
love
looks like
that.
what an ink splatter would look like, and then turning that into a brush.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I was checking out the chat. Personally, Mura is asking if I like literally Goofy Dad, not the Disney character, um, but
Aw, what's wrong with
otherwise,
him?
Yeah, what's wrong with him? He's
Well,
a
He's
good
great.
dude.
personally, I'm more of a Pete person.
Okay, that's fair.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody
I like
put
him.
down
I was
their
about to be like
pitchforks in the middle.
furry erasure.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Never
I
mind.
married a man from New Jersey. I like him stocky and grumpy.
Good.
And then Kel's asking, who
I
are
like
your
how
favorite
we were
vampires?
ready to fight, and then we like totally let our hackles down. Like, oh, okay, never
on.
mind.
It was, yeah, it's Pete. It's fine. We're not going to war after all.
We put our guns down. Like, oh,
I
okay.
am.
Okay.
How dare you? When he's got the little steamboat hat on. Ugh, daddy. Anyway, speaking of daddy vampires, I really dig everyone in Lost Boys. Alex Winter is really hot as a vampire, personally.
I have to now shamefully admit I have not seen Lost Boys. I need to watch it at some point.
I only saw it for
That's
the
not a
first
shame.
time a few
I'm
years
excited
ago.
for you to enjoy it for the first time.
Yeah, that's such a nice spin on it actually. I need to think like that instead.
Me and Kel were doing this thing where we were watching a lot, because I have not been exposed to a lot of media and movies. So we were doing this thing where we were recording, we were watching all the different stuff and talking about it and recording my reaction to it, and we want to revisit it as a live stream instead of what we were doing before, but we did watch The Lost Boys, and I need to edit that audio, because that was a pretty
so
fun
good.
one, because I was like very pleasantly surprised by it.
Oh, it's a Joel Schumacher movie. It's got to be good.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah, it is. Kel,
those-
how dare you?
Okay, to be fair, like one of the reasons I didn't
I like
watch
him
it,
gross. How dare you?
one of the reasons I didn't watch it was because growing up, a bunch of my friends were really into the vampires in it, like,
Oh, yeah.
and I didn't get it. And also, one of my friends convinced me it was really scary, but then again, I was a child. So I can totally believe after seeing it, a child would find it very scary. So that was just the impression that was made on me, and since I never saw it, I just assumed it was. So when me and Kel started watching it, and like it started, and I was like, "Oh, this movie's goofy." I was like, "Never mind, I love this movie. This is stupid,
Corey's
and
in
I love
it."
it." So yeah, I totally flipped. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna watch a horror movie. I'm not gonna like it."
No,
And then
it's
like
ridiculous.
within 5 minutes, I was like, "Oh, I love this. I love this so much. This is so stupid."
That's good.
It's corny. It is the corniest thing.
Yeah, so I've heard.
And
yeah,
everyone who's like, "Oh, the Twilight vampires glitter," I'm like, so did the Lost Boy vampires. They exploded into glitter.
They did. I mean, I'm also a traditionalist too. My first exposure to sexy vampires was like a lot of people, Anne Rice. I mean, when the Interview with a Vampire movie came out, I imprinted very deeply on all of the hot people in that cast.
Understandable.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Kel,
right.
those vampires were like people who like crawled out of a dumpster. They were gross.
How dare. There's that one scene where Antonio Banderas and Brad Pitt are walking down a hallway in floor-length fur coats, and I watched that part of the VHS God knows how many times.
Core memories. I mean, for me, like, I've talked about this a million times, but like my my core memory slash favorite vampire thing is like the 1992 Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like that is my
Oh,
favorite movie in the world. It is such a fucking train wreck and a beautiful and gorgeous and really horny and really
yes.
just a strange
I
movie.
just watched that recently. It was just on
Mm.
Netflix, and I've been trying to watch more Coppola, and I'm such a fan of Sophia's work, but I haven't really dug into much of her dad's stuff. And I had watched it when I was younger and thought it was ridiculous, and then
Uh,
I watched it
I mean,
recently.
and it is ridiculous.
It's such high camp fabulousness. It is
It's so good.
just,
I I've been
ugh.
sitting here trying to think of my first sexy vampire experience, and honestly, it was Letters from Lucardo because I never got to experience
Aw.
media with vampires that made me go ooh. Because I think I got glimpses of Interview with a Vampire, and I was just like, this is boring. And I got
Aw.
like, yeah, I think every vampire media I got exposed to growing up, I was just like, I don't like this. This is boring. I'm out of here.
Mhm.
Bye.
That's fair. That's
There's
also
something out there
that's
for
very
everybody.
yeah.
So hey, guess what? Your vampires are my first. And I'm like, hey.
I'm very flattered. Thank you.
I do have to say, Dracula, I was just watching Mark of the Vampire was on TV earlier, and it has Bela Lugosi in it. Young Bela Lugosi is very attractive to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen him young. I will have to Google him.
He's the some of the earlier stuff he did before the movie version of Dracula, where he was on stage, is really great. But for stage Dracula, my personal favorite is uh, Raul Julia doing Dracula with Edward Gorey back pieces and sets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice.
Oh, oh, Kel's asking about Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's about the history of film and the special effects. I knew that all the special effects were pretty much done in camera. It's a
Really?
gorgeous movie for those effects.
Yeah, I remember seeing like there's a lot of like extremely buck wild like special effects that they did like what's the movie term? In situ, not digitally. Like
Mm-hmm.
the shot in the beginning
Oh
where the
yeah,
train is going like
like
and
analog.
there's like yeah, analog like there's the shot of the train like going in the background and in the foreground you see like the like journal being written and like
Hmm.
it was like they filmed it with like a model train like in the same physical space as the book so it looked like it was two different scenes at the same time. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh,
always
Oh no, keep talking, keep talking.
oh no, just in Bram Stoker's Dracula, the every scene with the wives in the bed,
Yes. I love that. Yeah. Go on.
it's so neat.
Yeah, yeah. Very awakening emotions for the first time when seeing that as a kid. And also
Mhm.
the werewolf scene later on.
Oh yeah. See, I also the movie Underworld with Kate Beckinsale.
Hey,
Um,
I can't
less
remember.
interested in the vampires, but definitely the werewolves on that side.
Yeah. I'm not sure I think I've maybe seen that when I was like 13 or something, so I don't have memories of this place, but
It's just Kate Beckinsale in like tight leather catsuit,
yeah.
running through like industrial warehouses to rave music and like stabbing Bill Nighy, who's a vampire.
Yeah, this is very 2005 or whenever it came out.
Yeah, very, very mid 2000s.
Yeah, very after Matrix.
Hmm. There's definitely more
Yeah,
hot vampires in media than I thought.
yeah, I mean,
Did
they
you
are
worry with
hot
doing
ones, sir.
letters that you were gonna kind of like just throw your vampire romance in the pond with everybody else? I mean, it's
No,
obviously
no,
something special.
yeah, I don't think I worried about anything when I started letters. I was like, oh, I want to do this story. Like I
Yeah.
always start things like I just do it because I'm like obsessed with it, and then like down the line, like months or years later, I'm like, oh God, what have I done? Why have I done this? So it always comes afterwards. But I don't know, like vampires are like so flexible, and like everybody has their own little vampire head canons, and like I don't know, it's everybody does their own thing, and that's fine. Yeah.
I think vampires have
we're-
just never hit that sweet spot for me until very recently.
Mm.
Because it's like I always like thought too much about it, and but like I remember me and Kel, I think we're talking because my mom was rewatching Buffy, so I was watching it with her, and then I was reporting back to Kel my experiences, and I was just like, the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, where does Angel live? Does he live in a cave in the woods? He has to. This man lives in a cave in the woods, and I just couldn't stop thinking about how bad he smelled.
You know, I don't know. Like, I want to make my fiction for people who ask those questions. Like, I'm always that asshole as well. Like, I never shut up inside my brain about like stupid details that don't actually matter, but like it matter to me.
Technically,
And
if
like,
Angel is a vampire, he's not shedding skin cells or sweating, so he wouldn't smell. Zing a ding.
That is not the only thing that generates smells. Bacteria can accumulate on porous surfaces and in wrinkles.
Okay.
you there.
Got me there.
Maybe his skin kills
Wait, if
bacteria.
he's dead, does that mean like his gut bacteria is dead too?
Uh-oh.
Does he
He
have
can't eat
gut
human food.
bacteria?
No, because he can't eat human food.
Yeah, but is the gut bacteria
Oh,
sustaining
that's
on
right.
the
No, he
blood
lives
he's
in a
eating?
basement. That's right, Kel. I'm sorry. But say what?
Is his gut bacteria sustaining on the blood he's eating?
Maybe. Special blood gut bacteria. I mean, yeah, you would still need some kind of process to digest the
Yeah.
blood, so
I mean, blood is very nutritious, so
yeah.
that should.
I'm always a big fan of in What We Do in the Shadows, where they show vampires eating human food, and then it's just vomiting buckets of blood.
Oh, somebody asked what's favorite vampires. It's every character in What We Do in the Shadows. No contest.
Yes,
It's
100%.
Movie and show, or just movie and
The show. I mean, the movie is very good as well, also, but like the show is the favorite.
I need
For
to
me.
finish watching that. I watched like the first
It is so good.
5 episodes because I was trying to make it a thing with a family member because they were like, we never watch anything together. So like, let's
Oh,
watch this,
yeah.
and they haven't wanted to watch it since. And I'm like,
Oh no.
I'm gonna watch it without you. You better catch up.
Yeah,
I'll
It's
leave
so
you in
good.
the dust.
yeah.
It's just made me. I've been a fan of Matt Berry since the IT Crowd, and it's just made me more attracted to him. If that man released like an OnlyFans, I would be first in line.
Fingers
He
crossed.
ate the
Yeah,
chip.
he's great.
Oh, he did. See, I don't understand. I appreciate people who are into Buffy, but like, I got thoughts.
It was just a live action magical girl show.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember that Sarah Michelle Gellar is married to Freddie Prinze Jr. in real life because they met on the set of Scooby Doo, and it makes me really happy.
Oh, cute.
True love does exist.
Scooby, a CGI dog was my wingman. Here, let me mute myself. Yes?
What is going on?
Who knows?
I'm live still.
Oh, let's see. Angel canonically does smell
just letting
bad.
you know.
Buffy Vance can eat human food.
Wow.
See, it just seems.
Sorry, my mom wanted to visit with my rats, but we have to reschedule because we're streaming.
Yeah.
No worries.
I think
My rats are
Well,
very
well-
popular. People have to make
Aw.
appointments to see them.
that's understandable. Well, the picture is getting pretty much done, so whenever you want to wrap up, I am.
It's more of when do you want to
Really?
ramp up?
I see. Well, it is 15 to 3 to me, so I will probably
We've
soon
almost been
sneak off.
going
Three.
for 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
That is
Really
pretty
enjoyed
good.
it though.
Yeah, this was a fun chat.
Yeah, and I've got the
Oh.
stream setup mostly figured out.
Yeah, this looks good.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Those of you who are still here,
that's
we
not the one
appreciate
I
every
wanted.
single one of you.
Yes, thank you for coming along and having very funny comments in the chat.
It was a good one this time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Amanda, take us away.
What does that mean? Oh, you mean end the stream?
Thank you for the tech,
Yeah.
Amanda. Thank you for the
Alright.
curation, Andrea.
You're welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
of course.
chat.